What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Just wanted to do a quick video to wish all you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are all got bellies full, things like that. As you can see, I'm not doing this one in my typical location, so hopefully the lighting and things like that turn out okay. But as we close November, I'm just going to say it's been a rough fucking month. And hopefully we can do a lot of healing as opposed to what we have been through. As we all know, the Kyle Rittenhouse case is in our rear view mirror. Just a whole host of racist shit that has taken place in November. And just wanted to cover a little bit of it. And yeah, just hope for a lot of healing, a lot of progress, and put all this shit in our rear view mirror, and maybe we can unify and move on. Like I said, the Kyle Rittenhouse case is in the rear view mirror. I know a lot of you guys do not believe that it was race related, but let's be real, it was a Black Lives Matter protest from a racially charged event, and without it being racially charged, Kyle Rittenhouse would have never been there. So regardless if you agree or disagree that the event was racially related, he was there because of a racial protest. Ahmaud Arbery, we just concluded that one on Wednesday. They're going to jail. The McMichaels, father and son combo, and William Bryan, they're all facing life sentences, with the son potentially facing life without parole. Once again, another racially charged event. All this in November, by the way. Daryl E Brooks, I talked about him in the video, which is getting quite a few views. I'll link that in the description, invite you to go along. A black racist, and I took my time in calling out where, you know, justices do. You got to call out black racism the same way you would call out white racism, and I believe it's an injustice to ignore that. But Daryl E Brooks, guy with a racial past, racial social media, went to a holiday parade or Thanksgiving Day parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and took his SUV and tried to run over as many white people as possible. As of now, the media is not referring to that as a racial incident, but like I said in my video, if Daryl E Brooks was a white guy and he went to an all-black town and ran over a whole fucking bunch of people, we'd have Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, and thousands of Black Lives Matter members descending on that town and calling it racial. So how the Daryl E Brooks event is not being considered as a racial event, it's simple. It is a black perpetrator, white victims, and unfortunately our media and our society is fairly biased on that, and I'm calling that out. But in addition to that, we haven't talked about in this channel the case of Kevin Strickland. This is a heartbreaking case. This is really bad. Kevin Strickland is now 62 years of age. Now, some of you may have heard about this. He was arrested back in 1979. He was arrested and convicted on 1 count of homicide, 2 counts of, basically 3 counts of murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 1 count of first-degree murder. 1979. In 2021, just this month, he was released after serving 43 years of a 50-year sentence, and he didn't do this shit. They completely dismissed the case and determined that this man is 100% exonerated and set him free. And it continues to get heartbreaking. Like I said, he's 62 years of age, has been in prison since 1979. 43 years he served for a crime he did not commit, and he happened to do it in the state of Missouri, which is where I'm at, by the way, but that's irrelevant. But he served 43 years in a state that the only compensation they give those who are wrongfully convicted is those who are exonerated through DNA evidence. And they only give you anything if you're exonerated through DNA evidence post-conviction. So all that time you served in the county jail waiting for the trial, all that shit's on you. And that could be up to 3 years for a lot of cases. But the 43 years he served after, well, you know, 1979, DNA was not exactly a known science. So DNA didn't clear him. He was cleared based on, they were able to show where it was just bad proceedings from the powers that be. So 43 years he served on a crime for multiple crimes that he did not even commit. It's so bad that the one witness who testified against him spent the last 30 years retracted and trying to get the man free. But we live in a society where everybody is rewarded based on convictions. So if a prosecutor can get a conviction, you've seen in the Kyle Rittenhouse case how bad that prosecutor wanted that conviction, how much they were willing to clearly, convict the guy who was obviously trying to defend himself. And I'm talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, once they get you in there, it's very difficult, even if you can come to them with a fair bit of evidence showing that you're innocent, they still fight that shit. 30 years. The only witness that put this man in prison for 30 years, she had recanted her statement, was trying to get him out. So, yeah, he spent 43 years in prison of a 53-year sentence or a 50-year sentence. And 30 of those 43 years, the only person that put him in prison was trying to fucking get him out. So that's the first atrocity, because he's now 62. The second atrocity is because Missouri doesn't have any type of compensation, they're going to free this man and basically, tell him good luck after 43 years in prison. Obviously, his entire working life is gone, and they're giving him shit. So, fortunately, there was a GoFundMe page set up, and they were originally trying to raise like $7,500 for this. But this case did get a lot of national attention, and as of today, Thanksgiving 2021, they have raised over $1 million for Kevin Strickland, a 62-year-old who lost his mom while he was in prison, and I'm sure he lost a host of other family members and all kinds of shit. I mean, this guy, can you just think about how much shit has been invented since 1979 that this guy may or may not have had any access to, that he would have to deal with once he's released from jail. GPS, the cell phones that are out now, microwaves, fucking dishwasher. I mean, he doesn't know how to, the internet, the computers. I mean, none of this stuff was really around in 1979. So there's no way he would be able to get out of jail and operate in 2021 with the knowledge he went in 1979. Now, perhaps they may have given him some vocational training and things like that while he's on the inside. But nevertheless, a 62-year-old man that's been in prison for 43 years is going to be fucking useless on the outside. So all of this is taking place in November. And then, of course, an older case, but an embarrassment nevertheless, is the case of Malcolm X. Everybody knows the civil rights leader Malcolm X from the 1960s was assassinated. And just this month again, the FBI and the New York Police Department admitted that they knowingly put two people in prison that had nothing to do with his fucking assassination. And once again, these two gentlemen, African American as expected, I believe they served 20 plus years in prison. Both of them did. I believe one of them got out in the 80s or something like that. And one of them is now deceased, and they had to go to his fucking gravesite and read his pardon or exoneration or whatever the hell you want to call it. But yeah, all of this happened just this month. So when people tell you we live in a post-racial America, it does make you question the validity of that. I mean, how the FBI and the NYPD could frame the individuals that killed Malcolm X and keep this shit hidden until 2021. There's a whole lot of federal directors that have come and gone in the FBI since the time Malcolm X was assassinated. You're going to tell me none of them knew that? They could have been released this information. The same thing with the NYPD. They clearly knew the wrong guy was sitting in prison. Those prosecutors, it's just a clusterfuck of racism. So all of this has happened in November. I just wanted to get on real quick, recap it all. Hopefully, as we enjoy the closing of Thanksgiving and we move on into December, we can start working towards unifying ourselves and coming together as a country, because we damn sure have not been that way up to this point. I'm not here to say it started with Trump or started with Obama or Biden is going to fix it or any of that shit. Who knows? I mean, it's been around for quite a while, but this is a lot of shit I'm reading off just for the month of November for us to step up and say, well, this stuff ended 200 years ago or whatever. I mean, I'm talking about white racists, I'm talking about black racists, I'm just talking about the fact that this shit is real. What do you think, folks? You think we're going to progress out of this? You think we're making a step in the right direction. What do you think about some of these cases? I know how most of you feel about Rittenhouse, my audience that leans right and audience that leans left. Ahmaud Arbery's case, it looks like fairly in a unified fashion, most Americans believe that the McMichaels and their chase driver William Bryant was guilty. I have not heard of a lot of people that defending what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. So fortunately, we do got one where people were coming together in agreement. Kevin Strickland was a fucking racist, but like I keep saying, the media, mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, society in general, certainly Black Lives Matter and all of them, they're not calling Kevin Strickland a racist. And it's my guess is strongly because he ran over fucking white people and he happens to be a black man, and we don't tend to admit black people can do some really racist shit as well. Who knows? Maybe somebody else will make the connection that gets more viewers and more listeners than I do. But what do you guys think on these cases? And finally, I would close by saying it should be a federal law in all 50 states that if you put the wrong fucker in jail, you should have to take care of that person for quite a while, particularly in this case, 43 years of his life. He should be receiving money from the government for the rest of his life. But what do you guys think? You think, you think I'm missing the point on this? Anyway, I just want to drop this video, let you guys know that. Thinking about you guys, and hopefully, like I said, hoping that we can all unify, move past this shit. As usual, show your boy some love. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. Feeling me, go ahead and hit the like. Not feeling this shit, hit the dislike. But as always, drop me a comment and let me know why. And of course, I will catch you in the next video.